Unmute.
There you go.
All right.
Welcome
to
Television for the Smart-Hearted. I'm Joshua Harris.
I'm Andrew Chance.
And we have our guest today,
Dominic Colangelo.
All right. I know, for a while, every time you had a fight, the announcer would pronounce your name all weird. You know what I mean?
Everyone always messes it up every time.
What's the usual
What is that like?
Colangelo.
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 I think I hear a lot
Can I
of
get some of that Colangelo?
Jello for the colon. Sounds like some old timey medicine. I feel like they would say Colangelo or something like that.
Colangio or something like that. They always butcher it every time.
What is that like to always have some people pronounce your name wrong all the time?
Honestly, I kind of like it. I enjoyed catching people just have trouble with it, you know.
That's funny. You just laugh at them.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't bother me because I butcher other people's names. It is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
But
I called this dude last night. His name was Jacob. I called him Jason, and he got mad at me. But
oh, really?
Yeah. But people call me Jason all the time though. So
yeah. You're Joshua.
Yeah.
People sometimes will call me weird ass names that aren't Andrew. Way up. Not even like Aaron. Like Jason.
Like Carlos or
something.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand why people get mad over it. It's not a big deal. I mean, if you tell them once or twice, and then they're doing it on purpose, and it's all right, then it's kind of annoying. But other than that, I don't see why it's a big deal.
Yeah. But now you got the title fight coming up. Now people know how to pronounce your name, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that this Saturday. You know, I'm about to bring the belt here to Cumming. I know I trained with Josh right here wearing that shirt. I was actually going to wear that shirt today. I should have, but wore this instead of my last fight, King of the Cage.
Oh, yeah.
Your last fight?
Legit publication. Or what is it called? Legit, not that the other ones aren't, but that's
this is national televised. If you have MAV TV, this was on MAV TV.
Okay.
So, yeah, and this is going to be for the belt. I'm excited. I've been training super, super hard. I just got an hour working right before I came in here. So,
but at this point, I feel isn't it now we're only a few days away? Don't you just chill?
You know, I'm doing a different approach this time. The last few fights, I kind of took it easy, basically the whole week before, and I feel like that was almost counterproductive.
Okay.
Resting my body too much.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing this time around is just pushing the pace. You know, all the way up until Thursday, and then Thursday I'm still gonna hit cardio, but kind of slow it down a little bit, and then weigh-ins are Friday. So nothing. Between Thursday, so weigh-ins are Friday at 2 p.m. and from Thursday 2 p.m. To Friday 2 p.m. I won't do anything, but I'm gonna do an early workout on Thursday, and then that's it.
Okay, cool. So weigh-ins, that's right before you do that, you're just shedding water.
Yeah.
And then right after that, you drink water again, and then.
Yeah. So for the cutting process, you know, I just submerge myself in water for half an hour. And then hot water, you know, have it up to my mouth, you know, my whole body's covered. Do that for half an hour, come back, and then get out, dry myself off.
Laying down in a tub, or do you have a stand-up?
Oh, no, in the tub, guard tub.
Okay.
I mean, your knees will be out a little bit, you know, but for the most part, most of your body's covered. And then you get out, dry your body off, see what your weight is, and then go back in, repeat until you're underweight.
Does that drain you from sweating because the heat of the water, or?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know the science behind it, but
you're just sweating into the water, right?
Yeah, you're just sweating. I usually put Epsom salt in there. I don't know if that helps at all, but I put a lot of Epsom salt in there.
I think it does because it's salt extracts water
helps
from
pull the sweat from you.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
So.
Yeah,
makes sense though. It's crazy how much water weight everybody loses before they fight. You know.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the very first fight in Georgia where they changed the rules where you're not allowed. So I had to weigh myself on Saturday and it had to be 10% or less than your like body weight. So I'm fighting at 157, so I couldn't weigh more than 172.7. They never did that before. Like some people were cutting like 20 pounds like the day before, the day of, like crazy stuff.
That is crazy.
And then so now they changed it. Now it's like 10% of your body weight a week out.
But that kind of makes sense though, because it's kind of like you're fighting at like more your real weight, And it's also just like super dangerous, isn't it? Just to like cut so much water weight.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely really, really bad for you. But well, that's why I don't do it. I basically just change my diet up and to where I'm like 5 or 6 pounds over, and then I just suck that out because then I'll just gain it right back. But usually I try to get about 5-6 pounds over, and then just drain everything out from there.
Cool. So that video, I saw that video. What'd you think of that video? Oh, you haven't seen the video. So it's like like they do like these promo videos for the fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they'll do interviews and like training footage. I was like, who's that fat guy Dom was beating up at the beginning of the video? I was like, oh, that's me. They caught me at like the worst time. I mean, I've been fat for a while, but that was like the most unflattering, because especially because I've been like laid off for like a little while, just getting fat and stuff.
The quarantine 15.
Yeah. You not only were you beating me up, you were beating me and my quarantine 15 up. So yeah, I mean, I was like, but you know what? It's like fat shaming. It's like publicly humiliating myself to have motivation to lose some weight. You know what I mean?
But I mean, you can still beat up most people. So it doesn't matter what your body looks like.
I guess so. It matters a little bit.
It matters in the context, I think, of who you're around. Because you calling yourself fat, to most people go like, "What the fuck is he talking about,
man?" Watch the video, man. It's especially.
I want to see it. Where is it?
I'm not like
available?
It's on the internet. I just ate. That's another thing. I'm all hunched over, like in like a fighting stance, and it's in slow motion. So
Right.
it's like the video of the guy getting hit in the stomach with a cannonball, and his all jiggles around. So yeah, I'm probably gonna try. I think I've lost a little bit since then. So
just go get in a hot bath, man.
Yeah.
I recommend fasting. I think fasting is like the best thing.
Okay.
Like literally, I fast for like 23 hours a day, pretty much. I mean, I'll drink black coffee in the morning and sometimes right before practice. But other than that, I fast for 23 hours, and my body feels amazing.
It feels amazing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did it feel like starting off with the test?
Well, this time around, my body's used to it, but the very first time, your body does definitely go into a shock because you're not used to it. Everyone's used to, you eat in the morning when you wake up for breakfast, you eat at 12 for lunch, you eat at 5 or 6 for dinner. Everyone's basically, not everyone, but most people are stuck on that schedule, right?
Yeah.
So your body is just used to it. So obviously your body goes into like a little bit of a shock, but after like 10 days, 7 to 10 days, if you can just fight through that, after 7 to 10 days, you're pretty much back to like normal.
Yeah.
What's the shock like?
It's just more like
you get lightheaded,
or like you might be a little exhausted, a little tired, but you just fight through that and you're fine.
Okay, it's not like you're like shaking and fuck.
Because if you think about it, if you eat right, you're supposed to eat about 2,000 calories a day, right? If you break that down, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you eat about 700 calories. You can eat all that in one meal. I eat about 2,000 calories in one meal an hour. So that's enough to hold me all over for, the whole day, basically.
I'm trying to do like a sort of version of that. Like I'll have my first meal at like 12 or 1, and then try to like eat again at like 4, and then try not to eat again. But I do like to have like some kind of like smoothie or something if I work out at night. You don't even do that. You just like
not right now. I mean, during the fight camp, it's super super strict. But I mean, Like if I wasn't in my fight camp, then yeah, for sure. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, definitely.
When do you eat?
I usually eat at 12. My lunch is 12 to 1. So
Okay. Your lunch like at your
Everything,
job.
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But it feels better though. Like I used to like think that you had to eat all the time. Your body's gonna go into like ketosis or whatever, and you're gonna start losing muscles. And I felt like shit
All
back
the
then.
time.
Yeah. Because
I mean, if you think about it, it's like it's actually worse if you think about it like as in I don't know, like anything with technology. If you leave it on and running,
yeah,
and constantly work, and eventually it's gonna like fault on you, right?
yeah,
So with the way our system is, I feel like my opinion is we're constantly feeding our body, so our body never has time to relax.
yeah.
So we eat at breakfast, and then it works.
Yeah.
And then once it breaks down, you're eating again, and then again.
I think so too. Because like after you eat, you get kind of tired.
Yeah.
So it's like I was like back in college when I was eating like that, I was always tired. And I think that's probably what it was because I was just always digesting food. You know.
Yeah,
I've been trying the fasting myself, like the intermittent stuff lately, and I did just because I wanted to see how it made me feel. But my problem is I don't eat until like at night, so I start fucking cooking at 7. It takes me forever to cook.
It takes him forever to cook.
So I'm eating at like 10 o'clock at night, and it's like my sleep is horrible because I eat like a shit ton at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So
I'll
I
be
need
over
to
to
try
his
to get to that 12 to 1.
Yeah, that'd be better. He'll be over there and he'll be cooking. He's like cutting up carrots like this.
It really just matters on like your schedule, you know.
Yeah.
Before I was eating at it was 9, now it's 12.
What's up, twat? They were playing Would You Rather earlier. They were doing like a live video.
Who?
The Twat podcast.
Oh.
I had one for him. I was like, would you rather be a man under 5'4" or a woman over 6'4"?
Oh,
That's a hard one.
Oh, yeah,
Girl,
shit, I don't know.
over 6 foot.
big girl, that's what they said. Because they were like, they're both women. They were like, I don't want to be a man. But for me, it's like, if I was a woman, I would want to be a woman. You know what I mean? If I was a man, I'd want to be a man.
Right. I feel like for me, it's good. It's hard enough for guys to get girls. I feel like it's easier for the other way around. So even though if you're like a big massive chick,
Somebody
you're
have
still
a
able to get guys.
You'll get some guy that wants you to like sit on him and shit.
Man, you're under 5'4", just like hang out with Mexican women.
Right. Some Asian women really hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the other one?
There's a lot of really short Mexican dudes, and it doesn't look like it bothers them at all. You know?
Does anything look like it bothers Mexican dudes? They're just not really. Not really.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay. That's my impression of some Mexican dude. Dude, I thought about this. Have you ever seen a Mexican smoking?
I probably have. I
I
don't know.
don't think so. I don't think they smoke.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen a Mexican smoke.
Yeah, and I mean, I was thinking about it when I was in Mexico for a little while. I was in Mexico City. I didn't see cigarettes anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy because that place is polluted as fuck. But it's for different
like for
reasons.
car fumes.
But the idea that that's funny.
It was really polluted.
No, don't smoke. That's bad for your health.
Like it was during the start of the COVID breakout. I was there on March 14th. And no, it was so much smog. And some people were wearing those masks because of the COVID. And I was like, man, I won't want one of those just because of the smog. You know, but that, like, some people wore a mask, but nobody was freaking out over there.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen a freaked out Mexican also.
Right.
Like freaking out how? Because I haven't seen people like publicly like freaking out.
Well,
like,
it just
yelling at
you
people.
could just feel the panic when you got back.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
for
could
sure.
feel it. Like grocery stores were empty.
Oh yeah.
People. I mean, I actually was messing around, and I was at work, and this was right when we opened back up in like May, I believe. And I'm like, man, it's so easy to call out of work now. It's like before, man, they made you like going to work no matter what.
Oh yeah.
And then I was talking to my buddy who worked there, and there's a member right there in the front desk, and they're like, oh, watch this. Like, it's so easy nowadays. All I gotta do is cough, and I'm like, you see the lady's head snap. I'm like, see? Like, she was wearing a mask, like you said, like freaked out. Like just me coughing, I'm like people cough, people sneeze and stuff. Like people have allergies. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know why everyone's freaking out.
That's
so
what I was
bad.
thinking, because I got allergies bad, especially during spring. I was like, fuck, man, everybody's going to think I have it.
Right.
What do you think? You think we should shut everything down?
No,
like we did?
No, I think they should have left everything open.
I think it was crazy that the way that it was
Gripping
handled.
on you.
I think it was very poorly handled, and I think a lot of it had to do with the election, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
So come November 4th, it probably won't be such a big deal. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for.
If Sleepy Joe wins, it probably won't be a big deal. But if Trump wins, it might carry on. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think, in my opinion, the shutdown just like destroyed the economy.
Yeah.
I mean, even LA Fitness, which is one of the most profitable gyms in the world right now, I think they were number 1 or number 2, and they're struggling right now. So that just put it in perspective.
Yeah.
You know, like it's pretty bad right now.
It's crazy because that's that is the biggest part of it, the economic collapse or whatever, you know. I mean,
I think the problem was a blanket solution
yeah,
that wasn't thought through. Just shut everything down full, rather than like sitting together and be like, hey, what can we really do? And making sure they like came together on this shit. Because it was this election shit, just fighting. And if they would have just been like, okay, we have to be unified on this so that everybody at least does the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what it comes down to. There was all these different things people were doing. And so all those different things were making numbers go up because it made some people mad at point like, fuck it, I'm going to go cough on people. Like,
yeah,
those kind of things where if the government just been unified and said, okay, let's do this and this and this, everybody would be like, cool. Like we wouldn't have all been like, what the fuck? They're all telling us to do this? Like we're not going to do it.
yeah.
Or I don't know. I felt like, or like that's not enough. As long as if everybody had been unified, I felt like.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree 100%. I think they just made like an irrational decision like that without like actually like thinking through it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like even people in the medical field are just like, this shouldn't have closed everything down. So.
Yeah. And it's like people are wearing masks and stuff now. Like, why couldn't they have been doing that from the start?
That's what I've noticed lately is that there's not as much like half mask, half no mask. It seems like most people now will just go ahead and wear a mask.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it's become unpoliticized, and they just wear it even just to make people feel good.
Yeah.
Like that's why I do it, just so nobody fucking says anything to me.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like crazy because like we're allowed to have 300 people in my gym. None of them have to wear a mask, but the employees have to. I'm like, okay, this makes absolutely no sense, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, I don't know. It's like, here, we're treating you good or whatever.
It's more like perception, so they can keep people coming in rather than like thinking through.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't
Six Flags shit's like that too. Like they have you wear a mask and everything, and they're like concerned about COVID, but then whenever you go through security, like security's ramped up for no reason whatsoever to the point that they dig around in your bags, no gloves, no anything. They dig around your bag to the next person's bag and next. So if there is fucking COVID, if that shit is passing around like they're trying to say, then it's being passed right there.
I think they're mostly saying it's not on surfaces nowadays.
Yeah, but I mean, these people at Six Flags aren't treating it like that, and the way that they're cleaning things, the way they're doing other stuff, they're like they're treating it like it is on surfaces in the way that we have to act out there in the public. But the security guards are not treating it that way.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of just mixture of fucking approach to it, I guess, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
None of it like makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially for like what it is. Like, I think the whole thing is like, I kept seeing people say like, oh, you're okay with people dying? Like one death is not enough, which is like that you can't. That's not a standard anyone can uphold about anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and
You mean one death is enough? Or what? One death is too much. That's what
Yeah,
you're
one
doing.
death is too much, yeah.
Yeah, one death is not enough. We need more.
I really misspoke on that.
I mean, hey, some people just need to die. I mean,
That's a bold stance.
no, I'm just kidding. The strong will survive. But I mean, I've already had COVID, and I've rolled with a bunch of people, and nobody got COVID.
That's the weird thing.
And
Like we
my
were reading
girlfriend
each other's
didn't have
faces.
My girlfriend didn't get it. My father ended up getting it, but out of like the 40 people like I come in contact with, I roll with 15, 20 different people at the dojo. Nobody got it.
Oh.
So it's not. I feel like it's not.
And that was all before you even found out.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't rolling people after. He
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
I meant like after, even after you went through this process of recovery or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is like you doing that, and then this is like backwards tracing. Like, oh shit, shit.
So I tested positive, and I doubt I actually caught it like the moment that I actually tested when I tested. I got it. I'm sure I was infected at least a day or two before that, right?
And no symptoms really or anything?
No, I mean just
That's
a little,
crazy.
just a little bit because I'm eating like 1,200 calories a day with just drinking water and a bunch of cardio. So my body felt run down, but that felt like kind of normal.
Yeah, like you could have been kind of tired anyway, right?
Right, exactly.
What about taste and smell? Did you lose
My
it?
smell.
Oh, you did?
My smell, I will say, my smell still isn't bad.
Oh, really?
After however long it's been.
What's
So
that
you
like?
can't smell at all?
It's very faintly. I mean, it's still I can smell, but it's very faint. It's slowly coming back, but it's nowhere near like it was before.
Do you miss
Good.
it?
I've been fine.
I do.
I
I mean, when I'm at the dojo or at the LA Fitness, some people smell really bad, so it's actually
I think more bad smells are noticeable than good smells. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
We called this one lady that used to come to the LA Fitness the bomber. So every time she came to LA Fitness, walked in, you could smell her. I was no joke. I shit you not. I was in the locker room, and I guess she came in. I was like, I smell her, and I came out, walked, and I ended up meeting her at the cardio equipment, which is right at the front. I'm like, I could smell this chick all the way at the back of the gym.
Wow.
Wait,
It's
was it
really
just BO?
BO, yeah.
Okay.
Like you haven't showered in ever.
You think she has some condition, or she's just not
Well,
showered?
is she hot? That'd be funny.
Yeah.
She's a really hot chick that just smells for miles.
Funny and tragic.
No, that's a good. Would you rather hook up with a good-looking chick who smells really bad, or a hideous chick that smells like good?
Smells great. They're just
Yeah.
totally into that smell.
I think I would use a nose clip.
What if that smell is strong enough to go right through?
I would put I'd tape up my
There's
face.
no way you can avoid the smell.
Yeah, there's no possible way.
I don't know,
And there's no way that you can avoid looking at the other girl.
man. Yeah. I'd have to see him and
I think
smell
I'll probably take the
I
ugly
just
chick.
see him and smell it.
Yeah, as long as it's nice down there.
Man, I think so too. Because smell is just such a nasty thing.
Oh yeah. That would be hard to have sex with a very bad smell.
Yeah.
For sure.
So have you seen this cool thing called subincision?
I don't know. What is that?
This is from last week. You're doing more sub-incision.
He hasn't seen it before. You guys have a phone? Look up. Let's look up some subincision photos. It's like a really neat.
I'll see it.
It's like a really neat form of body modification. And if anybody is listening, look up subincision so you can see the photos for yourself.
I feel like I'm about to assault his eyes.
He's good. He can handle it.
Okay, so
what they do is they split the penis down the middle.
Wow, that looks really painful.
yeah,
It's
apparently they do it on purpose.
Yeah,
Why?
it's like a cool. It's just like body modification, It's like getting your ears gauged or something. It's just like a really neat thing to do to your penis.
So I guess your piss and your cum all just goes everywhere.
I didn't think about the cum. I knew the piss.
Really?
I knew you had to sit down because it goes into the urethra. But I guess the cum also comes out of the little slit too.
Yeah.
So you have to sit down.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It's a cool thing that people do.
I wouldn't call it.
Would
cool.
you do it?
No.
Are you sure?
Fuck that shit. No way, man.
We would figure out a would you rather for a sub-incision or something. I don't know.
Sub-incision or
What's as bad as a sub-incision?
Sub-incision or just get it cut off totally.
Yeah, but definitely getting cut off totally is worse. So.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know. What might feel absolutely well, it probably doesn't feel absolutely horrible forever. Or those people would constantly be going around. Oh,
what?
So,
Sub-incision?
it's got to somehow.
Does it just heal back up and then they get it cut again?
No, I don't know about that.
It's healed, cut it back up.
Over and over again. I don't know. Like maybe you could do like Steve-O did and get his butt cheeks pierced together.
I would definitely rather get my butt cheeks pierced together.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. There's not a lot of stuff that's worse than that.
No.
Maybe like a sex change.
How would that work? How would that work? Like having sex, can you still get hard if it's cut like
I don't
that?
know. We need to ask somebody. I think so because
You need to find the sub-incised person.
the two sacks of blood are separate, so you're just cutting down the middle. So I think they would still fill up. You know?
Sounds interesting.
Oh, well, here's the thing. Okay, so that at least that you can't see if you're clothed. What about like something like a face tattoo or something that everybody?
I'd
can
rather
see
have a
all
face
the time?
tattoo.
You'd
People
rather
see
have
all the
face
time.
tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Just change my lifestyle, you know?
Yeah.
I'm a new person.
Yeah, I don't think I could walk around like when my dick slit all the way up in half. I'd rather have face tat.
I don't know, because I couldn't.
Why do you have a stupid face tattoo? Well, was this or a sub-incision?
Is there anything that you could have tattooed on your face that would be worse though? Like, what if it was like something really?
I'd rather have a dick and balls
Sub-incision.
tattoo.
Yeah.
Tattoo on your face.
What about having a prosthetic penis attached to your forehead? It's always like, right here.
Oh man, that's just double the fun.
You can be getting with like 3 or 4 girls at the same time.
It'd have to be hard. You ever watch any martial arts movies? How did were you into martial arts, or you?
Well, I mean, I wrestled, but
Yeah.
as far as like the sport itself, like MMA, not really, honestly.
You got into it through wrestling?
Yeah. I mean, back at home, I'm from Philadelphia, so I did try it out back when I was 20, like 8 years ago, and I did like it, but it kind of just fell off or whatever. I just stopped. But I never followed it, not at all. I mean, other than I followed boxing though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Boxing, obviously Mike Tyson. So Roy Jones Jr. was my favorite boxer. I like him.
Okay.
So I followed boxing, but that was it.
What made you decide to start doing martial arts then?
I
mean, obviously wrestling is a martial art.
It was more like a redemption kind of for me, because I've been through a whole lot, self-inflicted wounds, many self-inflicted wounds. So it was kind of more of a redemption and making me feel better about myself. So
Self-inflicted wounds? What do you mean?
Like going to jail, DUIs, and stuff like that. So like I had my own detailing business and managing a car wash. I got a DUI. So then I went to jail. So I lost that. I lost my detailing shop.
How old are you?
28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I got out and my dumb ass did it. Got caught again.
Yeah.
So I lost my license for 6 years, parole for like 12 years, and so it kind of was you feel shitty about yourself, no matter how like big or how strong or whatever, it doesn't matter. You start feeling shitty about yourself. You feel like you're almost like worthless, and then it's like because you have no job, no car, no money, no place to live, so it's like what the fuck, So the martial arts is kind of what helped me find myself, and
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not a good thing to drink and drive or whatever, but it's like I feel like that's kind of I feel like the DUI laws are kind of intense. You know what I mean?
They
Don't
are.
you think? Like, couldn't it be like not so intense?
For real. I mean,
basically, kind of ruins your life. You know,
For
like
sure.
I know, like one of my coworkers, he was like, "Hey, I gotta quit. I got a DUI." You know,
You gotta quit?
he had to quit because he had a
Oh,
DUI.
because you drive for your job as well.
Yeah.
You drive company cars.
Yeah.
It's,
yeah, if you get a DUI, it follows you basically for the rest of your life. So don't get a DUI. Don't drink and drive. If you do,
Crazy.
don't get caught. I was very good at not getting caught for a long time. So when I got caught once, I was like, well, I only got caught once. I drank and drove hundreds of times. I won't get caught again. And I got caught again. Yeah. So be smart.
Yeah. There's a amount, like you can drink like 2 drinks or something and still drive though, right?
I had one shot. So
Really?
One shot?
one shot.
Dang. That's not even
So the
enough
laws in, I don't know what the laws here in Georgia are. So, I had one shot. So my blood alcohol level was 0.035. It was under the legal limit. But so the lady said, well, obviously you're not drunk, so we're going to go take your blood, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, all right. So then I had THC in my system, marijuana from the day, So no matter what, even though both of those were super small, each of them in your body, it's automatically the highest tier DUI you can get. It doesn't matter if your blood alcohol level is 0.01 and the smallest amount of marijuana in your system or smallest amount of anything. If you have a mixture of both, it's automatic the highest tier.
You're like, man, you can't be cross-faded. What are you doing?
But it was also, you weren't even, it's not like you currently got high. It's from the day before?
Yeah, I was high the day before.
Man.
But that night, I did drink, but I had only one shot, and then I drove. I didn't drive right away either. I waited a little bit.
That's crazy.
So
that's fucked about the day before THC. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, clearly you're not fucking stoned.
But
Yeah.
but they don't care because it's in the system. So.
Yeah.
That's just a bunch of real straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
So
be careful, especially with everything becoming legal and they can bust you. Even more people are going to smoking now, and they can still bust you for DUI for smoking and driving. So this could be another way for them to get more money, because they get more. The more DUIs they get, the more money they get. Same with the COVID deaths. If they report a COVID death, you get $25,000. Where cops get a cut of DUIs that they get handed out to people. They get a cut.
Crazy.
So we gotta be careful.
Yeah. I got tested one time. Like I was riding down the street. I really didn't have much to drink at all. I had 2 drinks, and which was that's I was intentionally not drinking a lot that night. And the cop was like, "Yeah, I can smell the faint odor of alcohol on your breath. Will you step out of the car?" And then he did this eye test with a flashlight, and then afterwards he was like, "All right, 2 beers it is." And I don't know how I passed.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you were honest with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I one time got pulled over, and the guy asked if I'd been drinking. I was like, nope. He said, I can smell it on your breath.
I was like, what the heck?
Oh, so they got some guy to bring a breathalyzer over, and I blew into the breathalyzer, and I passed. I know I passed because I heard him over there saying something. Was like, yeah, think we should give him another one? He's like, yeah, go ahead, give him another one, try it again. So he came over and tried it again, had to breathe harder and shit, and still I fucking passed. But I unfortunately had an open container of whiskey underneath my seat. I wasn't drinking that. I had drinking PBRs earlier in the night.
Yeah.
And so I got an open container.
Well, it's better than a DUI, right?
Oh yeah, but way better.
Yeah.
But man, those motherfuckers, they were trying to get me for sure. They had a trap set up just for that.
Yes.
I don't think they're allowed to do that shit anymore though. This is years ago. I think now you can go catch it, but they had traps set up where every car that came through.
That was, but you didn't even know that was open container, right?
I know.
You told me that. Oh, you didn't know. Okay.
What do you mean?
I thought you said you told me about that story, and you were like, "Yeah, I thought if it was closed, then then it was an open container because you.
That's what I told him.
Oh.
He was like, I was trying to play dumb.
Oh.
Well, it's not open, sir.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
It's just not all.
It's the
sealed
seal
up.
is broken. Yeah.
Yeah, which I think that's kind of extreme.
I feel like the cops down here are so much more lenient and stuff, man.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
man, from where I'm from, like, there are cops sitting outside the bar, even though it's illegal. They sit outside the bar and they wait for you to leave, and then they'll wait until you get like a few blocks down, or like turn down a couple roads, and then they'll pull you over. So yeah, it's different. I feel like it's a lot different down here. So,
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm, you know.
Most of them are probably fucked up.
The cops, yeah. I know, like, my dad told me, he was always just riding down the street drinking and stuff. He told me he used to be able to hit a street sign with a beer bottle through the passenger window while he was in motion.
Right, that's funny.
So that's a lot of practice doing it. You know, he was always drinking and driving.
50 miles per hour.
But when was it? Was it like the 70s or 80s when they made this
Mothers
shit?
Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was.
Angry moms.
Yeah. It was like late 70s.
Did you have to sit through a MAD class or whatever? A MAD thing? Mothers Against Drunk Driving?
No, it was like a DUI class though. Maybe it was that. I'm not sure. It was maybe something similar.
They got some down here, I guess, where if you get a DUI, that you have to sit like on a session of Mothers Against Drunk Driving that all tell you what happened to their children, how terrible it is, what you're doing. I had a friend. They did it to Chris just for an improper lane change.
What?
He didn't have any alcohol or anything. He was just under 21 at the time, so they went ahead and just made him take that class, a DUI class as well.
For what?
It was for an improper lane change. He got into an accident
Improper lane
from it.
change.
Yeah, it was just some weird fucked up shit because he was under 21 that they were trying to.
Just make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he had to sit and watch those women talk about their dead children because he didn't turn his turn signal on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. That's around the same time they, so the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, that's the reason that it's 21 instead of 18.
Yeah, I think so. Right.
Oh.
Because it used to be 18,
Yeah.
and then they were just like, well, if you don't make it 21, I think federally is it still 18?
I think so, but if you don't have it 21, then you lose some kind of benefit from the.
Like we
federal
won't
government.
support you financially if you don't
Yeah.
make it 21. So I think like federally, I think it was still like 18, but the states the feds force them to make it 21.
Which I think is like a weird age. It's just kind of random, you know. 21.
I feel like if you can go to war and die for the country, you should be able to drink.
Yeah. A lot of people would say though to that, like, well, if you are in the military, they'll let you drink.
Well, yeah.
But I still think I think if anything, like the voting age, I think 18's kind of young for voting. You know,
I agree.
like
with
I
that,
don't.
yeah.
I think
Most people don't even follow it.
Yeah.
I feel like honestly, if they made the drinking age lower, I feel like there would be less people driving. I feel like a lot of people that are under the age of 21 are drinking and driving because, you know,
they're afraid to call home and
they just like little things, you know, whereas if you just make it with 18, they can just go and then go home. Like that's what I do now. I'll go home and have a drink, you know.
Yeah.
They can't have a drink at their house because, you know, it's illegal. Their parents aren't going to let them. So what do? They, you know, whatever, you know, just go to a park or something and then with your buddies and then drive home drunk or whatever it is.
Yeah, because they can't call their parents and be like, oh, I can't come home, I'm drunk.
I'm drunk, right? You're going to get in trouble.
Meanwhile, the smoking age has been raised to 21.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes?
You didn't know that?
No,
yeah, cigarettes
where?
is 21. It's a few months ago.
Oh, you make it seem like it was years ago the way you did that. Oh, just a few months ago?
Yeah, which is weird. To me. Like,
how
I don't
that
know why.
got through.
I think it has something to do with vaping somehow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think that's crazy.
That's crazy. I didn't know about that.
Because that doesn't even you can even make the argument for drinking that it's going to impair you and you're more dangerous that
It's
way.
just the mommy state, you know. We don't want you to die. It's like, I want to fucking die. Let me.
What if you were 20 years old? What if you were 19 years old and addicted to cigarettes? And then all of a sudden it was raised to 21. What would you do?
I guess you're
I'm
still
done.
bud.
You gotta find a hookup, you know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
gotta go
That's
do the
fun.
black
Damn, so you
market.
can make some money on selling cigarettes.
Oh
Like
yeah.
$1 a cigarette or something.
Yeah.
I might have to start doing that.
Yeah, go sell Lucy cigarettes
Right.
to 18-year-olds.
That's great.
You got them for the next 18, 19.
Couple of 2, 3
few,
years.
Yeah, a few years.
Yeah.
So about your detailing shop, so are you like into cars or?
Somewhat. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not not like so much like the mechanical
Yeah.
part or, but yeah, I mean, I like cars. Not super into it. It was more of a way. So I started with working at the car wash, and then me and my buddy were like, what's another way to make income, basically.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
So you're more into like having your own business.
yes, the business.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have your own a business now?
I do not. No, too much work. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'd rather,
Yeah.
because people don't like 9 to 5s. I'm like, screw that. Let me have a 9 to 5, and then I can do whatever. Because then running a business is a lot of work. I mean,
Yeah.
you're your own boss and stuff, cool. But it's a lot more to that than just that.
Yeah.
I like to keep it simple. 9 to 5 job where you bullshit for half the time, and then you work
Yeah.
for 4 hours, go home and do whatever.
Cool.
Yeah. But like, plus you got like you're training right now. That's basically like another full-time job, isn't it?
Yes, that's the only thing that I would have my own business would be like MMA school. Right
Yeah.
now.
MMA school. That would be a cool job.
Yeah, you never know. We might
Teach
have some
martial arts and
World
stuff.
Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Might have some schools, more schools building in the next few years. Who knows?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
This area is still growing, you know. We got that city center over there right next to the gym opening up.
We're getting a lot of younger people now. Before it was like either older people or like not older, like 40s, with
Yeah.
kids, young kids. Now we're getting people like in their 20s and 30s. Even though it's Sensei Sean Kilgus, who's he's like, this has never happened before. Like, what the hell? Like, I
Yeah.
guess the younger crowd is starting to come in.
Yeah,
Come in. So.
Yeah. I feel like it's definitely becoming more of an MMA school lately. Ever since after the COVID happened, which I guess makes sense because parents, I guess, are less likely to have their kids doing stuff right now. But like people who are into MMA probably more likely don't like care or like aren't
Yeah,
as.
I think
afraid of
he
it.
said he's basically just going to make it MMA school.
Yeah,
says-
that'd be cool.
He doesn't really care about the kids. Well, he cares about the kids, but
Yeah.
like he's like, my passion is more MMA. So he's like,
Yeah.
but most like 90% of them like canceled. So he's like, screw it, I'm just gonna
That's
focus on the adults.
Oh, 90% of the kids.
Well,
cancel?
I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot. Like we used to have,
That's crazy.
there used to be like 30 kids in jiu-jitsu, Thai, and all that. Now there's like
Like how young?
under what's the age?
I don't know.
Under 12 or something.
Yeah, that sounds
shit.
about right.
Like we used to have a lot of like
Yeah.
after school pickups and stuff, and now it's like you go in there and it's 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
You do any teaching?
I used to, not anymore.
You teach wrestling.
Yeah.
That was
Sometimes in there, yeah.
That was a really good wrestling class you taught the other day.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
really enjoyed that. I'm trying to come back to more of those because I can't wrestle, man. I feel like that's like I want to just focus on because the thing is I just do like a wrestling class every once in a while, but you can't learn something
Right,
like
you're
that,
gonna
you know.
in and out.
Yeah. So it's like I don't think I can do both. But the thing is, if I start focusing on wrestling more, my jiu-jitsu is going to go down. But I might just have to let that happen for a while just to kind of round out.
You've been doing jiu-jitsu for a long, long time. I mean, if anything, I think it would help your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's true. You know,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, yes, you might have to retrain your brain a little bit to like, oh yeah, there's that. But
Yeah.
you've been doing it for so long. Like after after a couple sessions, you'll be like, oh yeah. So honestly, I think wrestling. If you plan on doing MMA, I think, in my opinion, wrestling is the most important martial art. You can control any fight.
I think so too.
I mean, like if you're a wrestler fighting a striker, okay, cool. You take a couple punches, you take them down, they can't get back up.
Yeah.
If you're a wrestler fighting a jiu-jitsu guy, good luck on that person taking you down. You know, you can keep that fight standing.
And even if you do like go to the ground with a jiu-jitsu guy, like he's got to be really good at jiu-jitsu to like have it be effective against you. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely catch the person, but like I said, you can just like control everything.
Yeah.
Like, typically, a very good jiu-jitsu person that's been there for a long time isn't going to have good takedowns. I mean, of course, there's like exceptions for sure, but for the most part, you can control any fight you want.
Yeah, because like the reason that probably a good jiu-jitsu guy is not gonna like have the advantage on the ground against a good wrestler is because like good luck like throwing those submissions against somebody who has such good control on the ground. You know, they're probably just gonna be laying on top of you the whole time, and you're not gonna be able to like grab hold of their arms and stuff because they're gonna be in such good posture. You know.
Yeah. It's very different. It's like on the orthodox, you know, it's very different when you're wrestler or with a jiu-jitsu person grappling with a wrestler. Our style is so different, and vice versa too.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of getting used to it. I mean, I got choked, a rear naked choke so many times. That first year I was there, I got choked out so many times. I'm not gonna lie, but
because you had a wrestling background.
Wrestling, yeah. So you know, in jiu-jitsu and stuff, you know, you're comfortable laying on the back. Right, you're supposed to. It's good. It's fine. Right, not wrestling. If you touch your back, you're pinned. You can't lay in your back. If your back shoulder blades touch, boom, you're pinned. The match is over. So we never lay on the back. So always roll on our belly. Where you know that's not good. Obviously, in jiu-jitsu, you roll on the belly, you're gonna get choked out. So you have to. That's one of the hardest things for me to adapt to. Now I'm good, but I mean, it took at least a year just to get used to that alone.
To unlearn something is harder.
So you can't do the kind of chokes in jiu-jitsu that you can do in jiu-jitsu in wrestling.
No,
like there's not.
It's completely different. No, you can't lock your hands on the ground. You can't choke. No arm bars. You don't want your back. Completely different. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that rule set really makes wrestlers good at jiu-jitsu because they're so used to being explosive and stuff. Yeah. Like a wrestler, when they first start doing jiu-jitsu, they're, you know, relatively easy to handle because they always give up their back. So you just basically just take the back, you know. But as soon as they learn not to do that, then
that's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah. So I almost feel like it's weird because it seems like doing wrestling for a while and then learning jiu-jitsu is better than just learning jiu-jitsu to start with.
What do you think is going to be better for you if you get into a street fight, if you have to?
Probably wrestling, because you just take them down and you just control them. Even if you don't know any strikes or submissions or anything, if you can control somebody, then
you just hold them down.
Yeah.
Pick them up, slam them on the head.
Yeah. Which is great because like I never considered wrestling a martial art. I was always so into martial arts when I was younger, but I thought that was on my radar the same way that like hockey would be on my radar as a martial art, you know, but turns out it's maybe like the best martial art, you know? I think that jiu-jitsu is the best thing to learn because of all the grappling martial arts, though, it has the least amount of rules.
Yes, I agree.
So, like, you have other grappling arts, like, so judo, it's kind of like jiu-jitsu, but if you throw somebody down, it's pretty much over. You got to get up after you're on the ground for a few seconds. You know, I'm not real familiar with the rules on Sambo. I think that you can't do something. I think you can pin.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the rule set is or Sambo and or judo. Yeah. But in my opinion, I think wrestling and jiu-jitsu is the best. I feel like they almost go hand in hand. I mean, obviously there's little things that are different, but for the most part, I feel like they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, wrestling is just like on the feet for the most part, not 100%, but for the most part, that's the best for when you're standing up, and then after it gets on the ground, then you got your jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's even like on the ground too. There's ways to blend it both, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's wrestling stuff on the ground.
Because there's times, you know, and going back to what you said before, like starting wrestling, you think it's better, and the reason I think it isn't necessarily the reason that wrestling is better than jiu-jitsu. I think it's the mentality of the jiu-jitsu schools. Like wrestling, the way of the bear, you know, we're all out all the time, boom, 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 boom. Whereas, you know, jiu-jitsu typically is more laid back. You're more lazy butts, you know. You get lazy with it. So
I think that has its attributes too, though.
Yeah.
Because if you're taking it really easy, you're learning how to do things in such an efficient way that if you do turn it up, then it's going to be even more efficient, you know?
Yeah.
So if I can do something to you without using any energy, I can definitely do it to you.
Using energy.
Yeah, using energy.
That's why it's super important to blend it together.
Yeah.
I think wrestling and jiu-jitsu is like the best for MMA. Stand-up is good, but there's ways to avoid stand-ups, you know, like there's ways to circling and just feints and stuff like that. There's ways, you know, look at Khabib, you know, 28-0, 29-0, whatever he is. And he probably would get beat by most amateur boxers, right?
You mean just a boxing match, you mean?
Yeah, just a boxing match.
Yeah.
And just like amateur boxing, he would probably get beat up. Like he has very elementary boxing, you know, but his wrestling ground game is so good, you know, like, so what, you eat a punch or two taking them down, but then you can't do anything then. You can't do anything, you know? So.
It's so weird. It's so the opposite of what I like thought about when I thought of martial arts fights. When I first started watching MMA, I thought, oh, okay, this is cool, except they just lock up after like a little bit and then nothing happens. But I didn't realize that stuff was actually happening. You know, there was like a lot of just different wrestling stuff, fighting for underhooks and all that stuff, you know. So after I learned like wrestling like a little bit that I know, it got more interesting. But I've heard other people say that, like, MMA fights, they just kind of lock up after a while, like a little bit, and they don't fight anymore, you know?
Yeah, once you learn, you know, like you said, once you learn, like, everything behind it, then it's more interesting, you know?
Yeah, and they have these, like, new types of fights, like these, like, I don't know if you've seen any of these, like, karate-type fights where it's supposed to be all stand-up stuff, you know? And that's, I think, for people who don't know what's going on with wrestling, they just want to see the stand-up.
Right.
But when I go back and watch that, it's really frustrating to me to watch because they still lock up, but the referee just has to keep breaking them up,
Like boxing kind of. Like they lock up after like 30 seconds. And then boxing is crazy. Like every single round they lock up like 2 or 3 times, 4 times, and it's like,
dude, to be a referee breaking people up like that must be such an arm workout. You
right?
know what I mean?
Really good breaststroke. Right?
Yeah, they could probably swim really well.
So what's your approach to this fight coming up? How do you look at it?
This fight is
Reveal the secrets.
I guess I mean like
No,
you look at it like whenever you're going into a fight, you look at like I'm going in this to fucking win, or you look at like I'm going in this to master this aspect of it.
I go for where his weakness is.
Okay.
You know?
So
it's not like we always say. It's not a pissing match. It's not like whose dick's bigger than whose. You know, like I know his strength is striking. So am I going to try and out kickbox this guy who has pretty decent kickboxing? That's where his strength is. Like that's stupid. You know, that doesn't make sense, right? So his weakness, which is ground, where he looks like almost like a lost puppy on the ground. So why not? You know, why not take him down there? You know, so my approach is feints the shots, circle it, because if you like watch his fights, you know, he lets the people come to him, right? He's just standing there. He's just standing there, and they always circle to his power side. So I switch my feet. So naturally, you know, when you're moving to the side that your front foot is, naturally, right?
Yeah.
Common. So his power side, they're going to left, which is his right, which is his power side. So they're walking right into his power, right?
Yeah.
So
that's okay. Don't worry about
so I I switched my feet for this. Now I'm naturally going to my right, which is his left, which is his not his strong side. So now I'm naturally just gonna be walking that way, right? So and then just circle, because he's a big dude. He's kind of a lot of weight. So he's looking out for that just power. He's looking out for that one punch. Like I want one good punch to knock this dude out. That's basically what I get from him is if I don't knock him out that first round, he gets super gassed. So I literally just my circle. I'm gonna just circle around this dude, take him down.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna aggravate him by just not letting him like get into his range.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep circling until he's tired,
Yeah.
and then I can start opening up my hands.
I've heard that you should try to stay away from the power hand.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it does feel natural to go out this way,
Yeah, like it's just natural. Like when whatever way your foot is forward, for me at least, it's natural just to move that way.
Yeah.
So that's why I purposely switch my feet.
Yeah.
What is that like? I mean, how long does it take you to get used to that swap?
Well, I train both ways. Like our school has us train both ways no matter what.
You're probably good with the right side forward because of wrestling, though, right?
Yeah. So I'm pretty. Yeah. So
because
I'm actually.
They probably do. Like I always learned wrestling with my left side forward because the school I came before here, they taught us boxing. Always have your power hand back, so I would always have my left foot forward.
Oh.
But I think typically people would use their dominant.
Yeah, for wrestling, it's flipped.
Yeah.
Their power side's forward, but like striking, it's the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I like it better because my right hand is faster, so I like to throw those jabs.
Yeah.
So I like my right side forward anyway.
Yeah. That's cool. What were you saying about the second round or after that first round getting after he's like gassed or something?
Yeah, he's just gassed, and then if I don't choke him out in the first round, which I think I will, then I can predict that I could knock him out on the feet. I'm just saying.
What does he do when he gets on the ground? Like he talked about he
rolls to his belly.
Okay.
That's it. Seriously, he's my promotional video. I was like, he's very good at rolling to his belly. Roll to your belly, and it's gonna be a long. Actually, it's gonna be a quick night for you. But I'll hit you with some punches first, so it lasts a little bit longer. So yeah, if he rolls to his belly, like it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So you're not just gonna take him out; you're gonna humiliate him too.
Right. You gotta do. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I would love a head kick. I've been working on this fake shots head kick. Where you would fake the shot, and then you come over with overhand. But instead of coming with the overhand, come with the head kick.
Okay.
Because he's gonna be. His hands are already dropped. He's coming forward to sprawl, right, and then that's come up head kick. That would be optimal. That's why I would want to end this with like a head kick, or at least make him stumble him. Like make him do the chicken dance and then take him down or whatever. So
the audience cheering.
Right, a small audience that we're allowed to because of COVID, but
it's what 35% capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's gonna look like out there.
I think 100% capacity. They let in 700 people.
Wow.
Something like that.
Sounds like a lot. I don't know if it is or not. Though.
I mean, it's a decent amount for that arena. It's a decent amount, but I mean, overall, it's not.
Have you been there before? District?
Yeah, District Atlanta.
Just for the club or?
No. Watch a fight.
Okay, so they have fight there more. Okay.
So whatever 30% of 700 is
230, 240.
Yeah, so it's gonna feel it sounds like a lot, but really it's not. It's gonna feel like it's almost empty in there.
Okay.
Which is almost better for the people because I was irritated because the way it's set up is if you don't get front row railing, then you're screwed. So make sure you get there early.
Okay. When does it start?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. When do you think you'll go up?
Between 8 and 9, if I had to guess.
8 and 9. Okay. 7, 8, 9. Okay. That's being there for a little while. But yeah, I mean, 35% capacity. That's probably won't be too much of an issue.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad actually. Yeah, but before, if you weren't there right on time, actually, last time I went, I left early. I was so pissed. I was so mad. I was like, I spent $50 for this. I couldn't even see anything. I'm watching it on the damn TV they have there.
Yeah.
I could have just bought it on pay-per-view. I was so mad. I just left. I was like, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, looks like it's about to cut us off. You have anything else you want to say?
No, if you're on August 29th, that's when my fight is. You can watch it on flowcombat.com. Or if you're in Atlanta area, come by to District Atlanta.
All right.
All right.
And so it
Great
was.
talking with you.
Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for coming.
Television for the smart tarded is out.
Out. Come on, go away. And broadcast. Okay, cool.